Hey everybody, I am going to just doodle with you today, and I'm going to show you a doodle that I like to do when I'm just killing time. I like to do this doodle when I'm doing designs as well, so which I'll do in later videos where I'll show you where like I've done an example of like Mario, and I'll do this design in certain colors into his shape to fill him in. But for now, I'm just going to do a simple doodle with you, and you can kind of follow along, just watch. I like to just start with, just a couple simple lines. And from those lines, I'll jump off of lines. And then some of these lines, I will just create random 90-degree angles or as close as possible as I can get. And I'll do little lines off of those. And I'll shut up and just draw a little bit here so you can kind of see what I do. And as I draw more lines, some of them aren't even, some of them aren't straight, I'll start adding other shapes as well. And I'll just start filling the space with really cool shapes. I'll notice that I'll have a spot maybe that needs to be filled in with some other shape. Like I'll say here, for example, this looks like a good spot to put like a little, one of those little guys in there. And if I find some spots like these three here that look like they might need a little something cool at the end, I'll just do like little circles. And then sometimes I'll just, I can even like go off of those circles and create other little designs. And then I just kind of let my hand go wherever it wants. And I start just filling in spaces. Probably should have my light on the other side because I am left-handed. So if my shadow is blocking some of the design here, I do apologize. I will try to get better at these as I do them more if people like them. Like I said, right now I'm not too concerned with being exact with all my lines. I kind of like it being slightly messy. I think it adds a little bit of personality to it. And as I go along too, I will start to put in maybe some little squares, some little triangles, like a little more circles. Sometimes I'll vary the sizes of circles, and it almost starts looking like a little circuit board, right? And that's kind of what I guess inadvertently started going for when I started drawing these, was this little like circuit board idea. Growing up, I used to take apart electronics. I was an only child. I still am an only child. And when I would, in the house, when a piece of electronic would go bad, I would ask my dad if I could take it apart and look at it. I never really wanted to fix it. I just wanted to see how things looked on the inside, like electronics. And I was always kind of fascinated by the shape of a TV or a radio on the inside and all the little circuit boards and all the little gadgetry that made the radio or the TV kind of what it was. And that was something that I think never really left me. I always really enjoyed the idea of electronics and how they worked. And then here I am want to become an English/art major. So it goes to show you how much that circuitry I loved, because I ended up going almost in the exact opposite. But you know what? Art is very similar to science and electronics in a lot of ways. I mean, just take a look at what's happening here, right? This idea of art and this sort of electronic tone that this piece is sort of having here. I'm using a Micron 5, by the way. It's kind of one of my faves to kind of do something like this. That's the right size for me to do these sort of line drawings. I think what I may do in the future too is, like, if I'm doing one of these that's like a character and I'm using different colors, I'll probably end up going in with some thinner lines as well. So I'll use different size pens for maybe smaller parts that I'm trying to get to. And like I said, I think my left-handedness here might be messing with this a little bit. I hope not. I'm having a hard time. I just have my phone on an arm here, and I'm having a hard time seeing what exactly is that I'm doing. So I don't have a screen that I'm looking at here. So I'm hoping that I get out of the way as much as possible so you can see some of the stuff that I'm doing. But yeah, I just, like I said, I just kind of let my pen and the lines just do whatever they want. And sometimes I'll just get this sort of decelerating. That's not the right line, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that word for what I'm doing here. And I'll just put more dots on the end of these. I repainted one of the rooms in my house, and before I repainted it, I took the wallpaper off, and on one of the walls, I did a design like this, and it actually ended up turning into a tree. So part of it on the wall was a giant tree, and the roots of the tree ended up going to these. I was using these Copic markers, so the roots were becoming, brown and blue, and I ended up probably doing maybe an eighth of the wall in this design. And even after we painted it, like, oh yeah, that's good. It did a good job of covering it up. And then after like 2 or 3 weeks of it being painted, the design slowly started creeping from under the paint. So I have a bookshelf covering it now, but if you look behind that bookshelf, you'll see that I actually have a really interesting, very intricate design that I did over the course of like 2 nights. But I had these bookshelves covering it, so my wife didn't know that I had done that on the wall. And then one night I showed her, and she's like, "That's not going to get covered by the paint." And I said, "Sure it will." And then it didn't. So she was right. But it still looked pretty darn cool. I think I took a picture of it, but I don't know. Actually, I don't care if I did. That I didn't do that for Instagram. I didn't do that for anybody but me. I was bored one night. I felt like I wanted to create something, and then I just went and went onto the wall. Not everything we do, not everything we create has to be for someone other than ourselves. I think as I get older, that becomes a little bit more evident. I'm liking this. I think this looks pretty cool, right, so far? And that's just going off of lines, filling the gaps, finding those spaces that you can add little, I'm starting to do these like, kind of lines in here. I'm kind of liking that too, so maybe I'll just follow that pattern a little bit. See where that takes me. It's a good thing about these types of drawings too, is like you can just kind of go any way that you want to. I've also done designs like this on baseballs. So I'll find an old baseball at like an old sporting goods store, or if I'm at a park and there's an old baseball laying around. Or even, I work at a school and ask the baseball coach if they have any old baseballs. And I'll take like a thicker, not a super thick Sharpie, but, just like a normal black Sharpie or a red Sharpie or a blue Sharpie, and then just start doing a design like this on the entire baseball. And it looks really neat, actually, when you do a design like this on an object that generally doesn't have a design. And a baseball, that leather on a baseball is such a cool surface to draw on. If you've never drawn on a baseball, I recommend it. I know that's odd, but you know what? Every surface can be a canvas, right? So maybe I start like creating an outline a little bit here. I don't know. Let's play with that a little bit. Let's see what happens. Let me get a little messy in my creation here too. And I'm not trying to make it look like anything, like it could. Parts of it definitely could start resembling some things if you want them to. But I am just adding lines and dimension and interesting shapes. Throw a triangle in there. I'll put a couple like little squares up here because I think those fit well right there. I'm seeing from my camera that it looks like I have tons of room on my page here, so I hope this isn't too small on the camera. I'm also trying for the first time to record on my phone in 60p. I think that's what it is. Some of you might be laughing at me right now that that's not what it's called. But you know what? I don't care. So I'm excited if you like this and it turns out to be pretty cool. I will definitely do more, and I can even like start filling in shapes and doing like character design with these. If you are interested in seeing me do some of that stuff, I can even post a picture of my next one of the Mario that I was working on. Actually, that's in my office at work. I was really playing with the Mario with different line sizes and variations of certain things I wanted to do with that Mario. I think it's coming out. I never finished it because it would take a long time. I used a big canvas too. I actually drew that one on a canvas. This is a nice little drawing board here that that I have that would also be really good. It'd be a cool little Christmas present for people too. If you know somebody who loves a character and you want to do like a little cool character with sort of neat design inside of it. It's not that hard to do. Take a little bit of time, but it's enjoyable. I like sometimes how it also sometimes looks like foreign writing. Like maybe this means something in an alien language. Maybe that's all this is. Maybe this is me subconsciously communicating in an alien language. We're all in some sort of weird matrix and the aliens are communicating through our doodles. It's a pretty cool thought. So right now, I am writing an alien's letter home to his or her parents during the Great War. That's a wild premise to start a short story, isn't it? Don't steal that. That's my idea. I might not even post this video now because that idea is so good. Somebody's going to steal it. You know what? I'm going to say that's good. I'm going to say I'm happy with that. I hope you dug that and kind of watched that. I hope you can kind of practice these sort of designs, and yours will start taking their own shapes as well. And then the next time we do this, I will, try to do some sort of character or some sort of filling a design. Maybe I'll do a name or a letter and just kind of fill that in, and we'll go from there. All right. So thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe for more little drawing videos, draw alongs. These are nice little warm ups too to get the juices flowing, and have a great day.